In this week's episode of Attack on Titan Junior High, the summer festival is in full swing, and Bertholdt and Annie are going on a date. This episode of AOT Junior High is going to seem very familiar to those who watch a lot of anime. This is the typical summer festival, which means lots of kimonos, lame carnival games, and fireworks. Luckily, this episode has lots of slapstick, talking carnival food, and romantic entanglements. The episode opens up with Reiner desperately wanting to ask Krista to the summer festival, and he actually has the balls to do it as long as Bertholdt will come with him, and then suddenly all these other people start getting involved. They ask him to ask Annie out, Aaron and his group decide to join, and it ends up turning into this big party. But a lot of the humor in this episode comes from Reiner and Ymir teaming up, trying to get Bertholdt to talk to Annie, or at least look heroic in front of him. I think we can all agree the highlights of this episode is seeing Reiner with this little candy apple and this banana and basically make them talk to each other constantly, and you'd think he would eat them, but no, he just continues to use them in order to tell Bertholdt how to actually talk to Annie. The episode ends with Annie and Bertholdt having a nice conversation together and him asking something, but you can't hear what he's saying over the music. It's implied that it's probably something kind of mushy. What I will say is this scene might actually be a very big spoiler. I'm not actually a reader of the Attack on Titan manga series, but what's interesting about this scene is that they're both wearing these Titan masks, with Annie wearing her giant female Titan, and then you have Bertholdt who's wearing the face of the Colossal Titan. Does that mean he's actually the Colossal Titan? I think I've just been spoiled by something pretty damn big. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Attack on Titan Junior High? I just don't have that much more to say about this episode. This is probably my least favorite episode of the series, and that's just because it just seems kinda generic. Like, they took a concept that's been seen in a lot of different anime series, and they just sort of tossed in the Attack on Titan characters. They really didn't do anything too crazy with them. Really, this episode will be loved dependent on how much you actually like these characters, but I think they could have done something a little more exciting with this episode. That being said, it wasn't exactly bad. It was very sweet and very funny, but really not the kind of episode that I was looking for, especially after last week's side-splitting haunted house episode. So for me, this is just kind of an okay average episode of the series, but if you're a fan of Attack on Titan, check out this episode. You might see something you like. So I'm going to give this week's episode a 3 out of 5. Check it out, AOT fans. But before you guys leave, if you did watch this week's episode of AOT Junior High, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comments section below. Did you have a favorite scene from this week's episode? What did you think of the interactions between Annie and Bertholdt? And what do you want to see from the rest of this comedy spin-off of Attack on Titan? Make sure to tell me in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching this review. Make sure to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!